Here's best-selling Christian author and teacher Eddie Smith with another spiritual warfare moment.
Hi there, this is Eddie Smith with another spiritual warfare moment. One morning I was going to speak to a group at our church on spiritual warfare. And as I left my house and got to the end of the street, I almost missed it. But there, crossing the street on an electrical wire, was a squirrel. It looked like a woman walking a tightrope with a parasol, except it was using its tail to keep its balance. And it was so precarious, it startled me. I just knew any moment it was going to fall to the street below. Now, I've seen a lot of squirrels in my day. I used to hunt them with my granddaddy when I was a boy. We have eaten many squirrels back during those years, but I had never seen a squirrel walk a wire as small as my little finger. A four-footed creature doing that amazed me. I stopped for a moment, and then all of a sudden I saw a second. I saw a mockingbird. Now, the mockingbird is the Texas state bird. And the thing about a mockingbird is it's less than a foot long, probably tail and all. It's about 10 inches. But a mockingbird will attack an 18-wheel truck. They are mean birds. And when that mockingbird saw that squirrel on that wire, it said to itself, I'm certain, I can't pass up this squirrel. This is too good to be true. And that mockingbird swooped in like a jet fighter and circled that squirrel a couple of times and then did a dive bomb and pecked him on the head, and the squirrel turned and started going the other way, frantically trying to avoid that mockingbird. The mockingbird went back up and circled again and came down from another direction and pecked that squirrel on the head. And this went on. I was sitting now on the hood of my car. I couldn't believe this. It was like a World War II war movie. And so all of a sudden, that squirrel must have thought to itself, if it's this hard to walk on this wire, perhaps I should run. Now, don't ask me in terms of engineering how this can be true, but I saw it with my own eyes. That squirrel, who could barely walk on the wire or lose its balance, suddenly ran about 60 feet across that wire as fast as it could with 4 feet. It got to the telephone pole and made a 90-degree turn to the bottom and began to run down the pole faster than gravity could pull it to the ground. And when it hit the ground, it made a 90-degree turn and ran over and hid in a bush. I have no idea how claws that were designed to climb trees can run down telephone poles, but it did. And as I drove away, the last thing I saw was that mockingbird still intent on damaging that squirrel, and he was circling around and diving into that bush trying to find that squirrel so he could peck him just one more time. Well, I was breathless. When I got to the church for the spiritual warfare meeting, I told them that story, and I said, how many of you can relate to that squirrel? You know what it is to be pecked on the head like that. And every hand went up. And then I said, I don't relate to the squirrel. I relate to the mockingbird. God didn't put me on this earth so that I could get migraine headaches from the devil every day. He put me on this earth to do what I see the Father doing, John 5:19, which was Jesus' goal. And Jesus said, as I was sent, so send I you. And he put us on this earth, as Jesus was put here, to destroy the works of the devil. So today, my goal is to make sure that I cause the enemy a headache rather than he cause me one. How about you? I'll see you later.
Order your copy of Eddie's Making Sense of Spiritual Warfare today at www.prayerbookstore.com.